If you are a global entrepreneur or a family office with assets spread across borders, you have likely thought about how to shield them from legal risk, family disputes, or political uncertainty. In this video, we are going to explore why Dubai Trust is becoming the go to solution for protecting wealth across generations. If you have looked into asset protection strategies, you've probably heard of offshore trust, maybe in places like Cook Island or Belize. But what if you want something closer to home? What if you want a structure that's not just private, but globally respected and bankable? That's where Dubai comes in, more specifically the DIFC or the Dubai International Financial Center, often called the DIFC Trust. So, I want to share with you the top 5 reasons why this structure has become the preferred solution for high net worth individuals, entrepreneurs, and family offices across the globe. Before we start, my name is Shiraz Wahid and I'm the co founder at Leopardus Wealth, where we have helped many of our clients and families with trust, foundation, and other asset protection strategies in Dubai. If you would like my help in doing the same, you can apply for a free and customized asset protection plan by clicking the link in the description below. Let's start with the first benefit, that is legal protection. When you place assets inside a DIFC trust, you're not putting them into a box and hiding the keys. You're transferring ownership into a separate legal structure governed by the trust law. This means those assets are no longer legally yours. They're held by a licensed trustee for the benefit of the people that you name. That could be your spouse, your children, your business partners, or even your future self. So why does this matters? Because if you're ever sued in personal or professional or commercial capacity, the assets held under the trust are typically ring fenced. They cannot be seized in a judgment against you personally because technically they are no longer your property. This is known as asset segregation and it's a critical element of modern wealth protection. Of course, not all jurisdictions offer this with the same level of credibility, which brings us to the second major benefit, that is legal certainty and international recognition. DIFC operates under its own independent common law system based on English law, with English speaking judges, enforceable legal precedents, and robust commercial code. This matters especially if you are coming from countries where legal system is unpredictable, over politicized, or slow. DIFC structures, including trust, are globally respected. Banks and law firms in Switzerland, Singapore, London, and New York all recognize them. That's a key difference from some other offshore jurisdictions where even opening a bank account can raise compliance red flags. So, if you want to hold real estate shares or even IP in a way that's not just secure but credible, a DIFC trust gives you that legal backbone, fully compliant, fully transparent, and recognized by serious institutions. But let's go a level deeper. Because for many families, this is not just about lawsuits or banks, it's about succession. And that brings us to the third benefit, that is generational planning and control. A properly drafted trust lets you specify exactly what happens to your assets after you pass away, or even while you're still alive but unable to manage them. You can set conditions, timelines, or triggers. You can say, my daughter receives a monthly allowance until she finishes her degree, or this property cannot be sold until my youngest son turns 30. In other words, you stay in control even if you're no longer around. Now, some people use a simple will for this, but wills go through probate, which can be expensive, public, and time consuming. Trust, on the other hand, bypass that process entirely. There is no court involvement unless something goes seriously wrong. This makes trust not just private but efficient. In a DIFC trust, you can also name a protector, someone who has oversight powers to ensure that the trustee carries out the wishes faithfully. This extra layer is especially useful for clients who want more transparency and accountability over time. Now, let's talk about taxes. Because even if asset protection is your priority, tax optimization is often part of the strategy. And that brings us to the fourth benefit, that is potential tax advantages. A DIFC trust is not a tax evasion tool. It is a compliant structure, and any income generated by trust or distributed to beneficiaries is typically reportable in their country of residence. That said, a trust can help you manage when, how, and to whom those distributions are made, which can have significant impact on the tax outcome. For example, you may defer distributions until a beneficiary becomes a non resident or structure payouts in a way that aligns with their personal tax allowances. If you live in a high tax country or plan to move jurisdictions in the future, this kind of flexibility can be extremely valuable. Also, DIFC does not impose local taxes on trusts. There is no capital gains tax, no inheritance tax, and no income tax at the trust level. That makes it a clean jurisdiction for holding assets, even if you still need to declare income when it flows out. And finally, we need to discuss a critical point, that is bankability. So, benefit number five is the ease of banking and administration. Many people set up offshore trust only to discover that no major bank want to open an account for them. Or if they do, the compliance process is painful and the service is poor. With DIFC, things are different. The jurisdiction is internationally regulated, and most of the leading private banks in the UAE and abroad are comfortable onboarding DIFC trusts. That means you can have a bank account through trust, receive income, pay expenses, or manage investments, all within a respected, transparent structure. You can also use the trust to hold shares in an operating company, real estate in Dubai or abroad, or even intangible assets like intellectual property or digital currencies, depending on your risk appetite and goals. All of this is administered locally by licensed trust service provider, with annual reporting requirements that are modern and not burdensome. This is particularly attractive if you want a solution that works seamlessly with your Dubai lifestyle or business setup without raising unnecessary compliance concerns elsewhere. If you're wondering whether this kind of trust could work for your assets or how it compares to foundations, wills, or offshore structures, it's worth having a detailed conversation tailored to your case. If you own a business or real estate, don't wait for legal or health crisis to start thinking about protecting your wealth. Many people think asset protection is only for ultra wealthy. But the reality is that some of these solutions cost as much as setting up a free zone company in Dubai. If you want to secure what you have built and ensure your legacy, you can request your free and customized asset protection plan by clicking the link in the description below. And if you're serious about building long term financial security, you should really check out my next video right here.